I sit beside the window, watching rain slide down the glass, while the city glows in silver silence, and midnight hours slowly pass. The jazz cafe across the avenue still burns with amber light, its trumpet crying softly through another restless night. I hold a cigarette between tired hands, whiskey standing half untouched, and somewhere deep inside my chest, your memory still hurts too much. Love can feel beautiful at first, like moonlight dancing on the sea, but sometimes it slowly changes into chains we cannot see. The piano rolls low and fragile, the drummer brushes soft as rain, and every aching saxophone note feels wrapped around my pain. You used to sit beside this window, laughing softly in candlelight, turning ordinary evenings into something warm and bright. Now every chair feels empty, every room echoes your name, and loneliness hangs around my shoulders like a heavy ball and chain. I keep asking myself quietly why love turns cruel this way, why the same heart that once held you close can suddenly drift away. Still, despite all this sorrow, despite every sleepless blue, a part of me keeps believing my soul still belongs to you. Because some love stories linger long after goodbye is spoken, like old jazz records spinning slowly inside hearts left broken. Outside the rain grows heavier, street lights blur into gold, while the upright bass walks lonely through stories left untold. One day maybe you'll remember the softness we once knew, the slow dances after midnight, the smoky rooms, the velvet blue. Maybe then your heart will ache the same way mine aches tonight, missing all the quiet tenderness that disappeared into the night. But even if you never return, even if these skies stay gray, I know this love inside me will never fully fade away, because real love leaves fingerprints time can never truly erase. It lives inside late night music and in every empty space. So I remain beside this window, listening to the storm outside, while jazz wraps around my loneliness like the turning of the tide. And somewhere beneath this rainy skyline, where old blues and memories remain, a weary soul still loves you deeply through every ounce of pain. Tonight I sit beside the window, watching rain slide down the glass, while the city glows in silver silence and midnight hours slowly pass. Tonight I sit beside the window, watching rain slide down the glass. Came down heavy tonight, drumming softly against the rooftop tin, while a tired jazz melody floated through the cracked apartment wind. The room felt smaller without her, ashtrays full, lamp burning low, and somewhere outside the city, a lonely train cried slow. She left just before midnight, without anger, without a scene, only one quiet sentence, sharper than it seemed. Now every shadow in this room feels restless after dark, like something crawling through my thoughts, leaving invisible marks. The trumpet moans low and smoky, the piano answers blue, while the upright bass keeps walking through memories of you. There's a strange tension and loneliness, a silence hard to explain, like hearing footsteps in empty halls, or thunder before the rain. I pour another glass of whiskey, watching cigarette smoke rise thin, trying to outrun the ache that keeps crawling beneath my skin. Some nights heartbreak feels alive, moving slowly through the room, like a dark shape crossing moonlight inside a half-lit gloom. I tell myself it's only sorrow, only another passing storm. But every lonely jazz refrain still remembers your warmth. The drummer brushes soft as whispers, the saxophone bends low and wild, and somewhere beneath all the noise I still feel like a child. You always feared my restless nature, the wandering life I knew, late night clubs, broken musicians, and endless skies of blue. Maybe love was never enough to keep two drifting souls aligned. Maybe some hearts are born searching and never meant to stay confined. Still I miss the way you laughed softly when dawn entered through the blinds, turning ordinary mornings into sacred little times. Now the apartment breathes emptiness, the candles flicker weak and slow, and outside the wet neon city keeps nowhere left to go. If you walk back through this doorway, I'd probably smile again, even after all the sorrow, even after all the rain. Because love leaves strange addictions, like old blues records played too long. You know they'll break your heart again, but still you play the song. So tonight I sit beside the window, listening to midnight storms, while the jazz keeps wrapping loneliness inside familiar forms. And somewhere beneath the city thunder, beyond the smoke and midnight glow, a tired soul still waits quietly for one more dance with you.
The city talks too much, whispers floating through the rain. Every smoky cafe corner repeating somebody's name. You move through downtown nightlife like a queen beneath neon fire, turning every crowded room into a place filled with desire. The trumpet follows your shadow, the piano bends soft and low, while strangers watch you dancing like they already know. Everybody seems enchanted, caught inside your velvet smile. But I've watched your restless heart long enough to read your style. You laugh beneath chandelier lighting, champagne glowing in your hand, floating from dinner parties to jazz clubs with another man. Outside the skyline shimmers silver, inside the smoke hangs blue, and every lonely dreamer there seems hypnotized by you. Still I can see beyond the glamour, beyond the perfume and bright lights, because beautiful souls sometimes hide their loneliness in crowded nights. You keep running through the city, never staying anywhere too long, like someone afraid of silence once the music is gone. The drummer brushes smooth and gentle, the upright bass walks slow, while your high heels cross the ballroom like a secret no one knows. You say you're visiting old friends, family scattered through the town, but midnight stories travel quickly in places like downtown. Still somehow I can't judge you, maybe we're both the same. Two wandering hearts using jazz and nightlife to escape invisible pain. Because some people fear stillness, fear what quiet rooms might reveal, so they dance beneath endless music just to avoid what they feel. Tonight you spin beneath blue lighting, your silhouette glowing gold, while the saxophone cries softly like a truth left untold. And somewhere behind your laughter, behind the elegance and style, I glimpse a tired soul searching for something real all the while. Maybe one day when the rain slows, when the final song fades low, you'll stop running through midnight cities and find somewhere warm to call home. Until then, the
The jazz cafés will keep glowing. The trumpet will keep singing blue. And every restless midnight skyline will somehow still belong to you.
Tonight the jazz cafe feels warmer, like candlelight wrapped in velvet blue. And every slow romantic melody keeps leading my heart back to you. There's a woman dressed in midnight, skin glowing soft beneath the light, moving through the smoky room like poetry dancing through the night. She spreads her love around me like wings against the rain, turning every lonely evening into something alive again. The trumpet sings her name gently, the saxophone answers low, while the piano drifts like moonlight across whiskey glasses glowing gold. Whenever she holds me close, the whole city disappears. No more restless midnight highways, no more old forgotten fears, because some women carry peace inside them, a rare kind of quiet flame, the kind that makes broken souls believe in love again. If she ever walked away from me, this little world would lose its light, and every jazz song in this city would suddenly sound too lonely at night. I'd wander through rain-soaked avenues, past old cafes and hotel bars, searching for her silhouette beneath exhausted stars. But tonight she's still beside me, laughing softly through the smoke, while the drummer brushes gently and the upright bass moves slow. I asked her one
once for something small, just a little warmth to ease the cold. And she gave me more affection than my tired heart could hold. That's the beauty of real love. It gives without keeping score, like a timeless jazz refrain. You keep returning for more. Outside the skyline glimmers silver, rain sliding down the glass. Inside the candles flicker softly as midnight hours pass. And somewhere between the trumpet cries and the piano's soft embrace, two lonely souls keep dancing slowly inside their sacred little space. Because love at its purest feels less like fire, more like home, a calm romantic melody that never leaves you alone. So tonight beneath these city lights, with slow jazz drifting through the blue, I raise my glass to the rare kind of love that feels eternal and true.
The rain came down slowly, painting silver across the avenue, while the old jazz club on the corner glowed softly in midnight blue. A black cat crossed beside me under flickering neon light, and suddenly the whole city felt strange and alive tonight. I laughed at my own reflection in a cafe window stained by rain, pretending I don't believe in signs or whispers carried through pain. But some nights feel different somehow, like the air already knows when love is about to leave you, or when another sorrow grows. Inside the club, the trumpet trembled, warm and low like aged wine, while the saxophone drifted slowly through every corner of my mind. The piano rolled like distant thunder, the drummer brushed soft as smoke, and every lonely heart in the room looked one step away from broke. You sat beneath amber lighting, eyes shining dark and deep,
like someone carrying secrets too dangerous to keep. When your right eye caught the candlelight, you smiled so effortlessly, and for one reckless moment, the whole world felt kind to me. But later, as the night grew older and whiskey blurred the room, I saw sadness move across your face, like winter arriving too soon. Maybe love always carries omens, little warnings dressed in blue, tiny cracks beneath the surface before heartbreak finally breaks through. Still we dance beneath the slow jazz, bodies swaying side by side, trying to hold on to the magic before it slipped away with the tide. Outside the skyline shimmered silver, inside the smoke moved slow, and somewhere beyond the city rain, another lonely train would go. Because life was never certain, not for dreamers, not for fools. Only music keeps us breathing when the heart forgets its rules. So tonight I'll trust the jazz instead, more than signs or midnight fear, because every broken blues melody still somehow keeps me here. And somewhere beneath these rainy heavens, where candlelight melts into blue, a wandering soul keeps believing in impossible love stories too. If sorrow could turn into fortune, I'd own every light in this town, every rainy boulevard, every jazz club after sundown. Because trouble has followed me closely, like smoke follows late night wine, walking beside me through lonely years, one slow blues at a time. Tonight the city feels endless, cold neon glowing through rain, while the trumpet plays soft and weary, like a heart surviving pain. I sit near the corner piano, watching strangers drift through blue, each carrying invisible battles nobody else can view. bartender pours another whiskey. The drummer brushes low and slow, and the upright bass keeps walking like somewhere I still need to go. Life was never gentle with dreamers. The world can turn cruel overnight. One moment your soul feels golden, the next you're lost beneath city lights. Still I remember my mother's voice, warm as old summer skies, telling me storms would come someday, but not to let hope die. She said, even when midnight feels endless, even when your heart grows tired, keep standing through the thunder, don't let your spirit retire. Those words still live inside me every time the blues begin, every time another heartbreak tries to pull me in. Sometimes I wonder what peace feels like, to wake without this weight, without carrying years of sorrow through every cafe, staying late. But maybe the blues were never curses, maybe they taught us how to survive, how to turn broken memories into music that keeps souls alive. The saxophone cries beautifully tonight, like moonlight trapped in smoke. And somewhere beneath the skyline, another lonely heart just broke. Yet still the city keeps breathing, still the jazz continues slow, still tired dreamers hold each other when they have nowhere else to go. So I raise my glass to endurance, to hearts that refuse to quit, to everyone carrying hidden storms yet still surviving through it. Because someday beyond this darkness, beyond the rain and endless blue, there may be softer mornings waiting for souls like me and you. Until then, the music keeps playing, the candlelight still glows warm, and somewhere inside these midnight blues, a restless heart stays strong. Oh Lord, the city feels colder tonight. Rain sliding slowly down cafe windows, like tears that refuse to dry. The trumpet cries somewhere softly, low beneath the midnight blue, while while every lonely jazz melody still somehow sounds like you. Since the day you walked away, the nights have stretched too long, and every quiet street I wander feels emptier than before. I carried your memory through neon lights, through whiskey smoke and crowded bars, searching for peace inside old love songs, beneath exhausted stars. Some evenings I still hear your laughter floating gently through my mind, like a slow romantic record spinning long after closing time. The piano trembles warm and fragile, the drummer brushes soft like rain, and the upright bass keeps walking through every ounce of pain. I loved you deeper than words could say, more than moonlight loves the sea. But love can turn into sorrow when hearts can no longer breathe free. Still I know someday this sadness will loosen its hold on me, like storm clouds finally breaking above a dark and restless sea. Maybe one day I'll wake smiling, without this weight upon my chest, without hearing your name whispered inside every song of loneliness. Until then, I keep drifting through midnight cafés, watching candlelight flicker low across tired faces and empty chairs. Outside the skyline glows silver, taxis disappear through the storm, while old jazz singers keep performing for hearts trying to stay warm. So this is my final confession, my last slow blues for you. No matter how deeply I loved you, I cannot spend forever blue, because somewhere beyond this heartbreak, another dawn still waits for me. Another melody, another city, another chance to breathe free. And when that morning finally comes, when these aching nights are through, whisper one last goodbye before finally letting go.
Feels quieter without you, like a jazz club after closing time, when the last trumpet fades slowly and only memories remain behind. Rain falls against the window softly, blurring the city into blue, while the piano keeps repeating the songs that still remind me of you. We spent so many endless evenings wrapped inside candlelight and smoke, laughing beneath midnight chandeliers, while slow romantic records spoke. Now your suitcase waits beside the doorway, and silence fills the room, like winter arriving too early inside an unfinished tune. I try to smile while you're leaving, but my heart moves painfully slow, because some people become part of you, far deeper than they know. The saxophone cries low and lonely, the drummer brushes soft like rain, and the upright bass keeps walking through every ounce of pain. You once looked at me like forever, like the whole world disappeared, and every crowded midnight city felt smaller when you were near. Maybe time changed your feelings, maybe life pulled us apart, or maybe love simply grows tired inside a restless heart. Still I wish you would stay a while longer, one more dance beneath these lights, one more kiss while the skyline glows silver through the
because goodbye sounds too heavy inside a slow jazz melody, especially when two souls still remember what used to be. Outside the streets are shining, taxis drifting through the storm, while inside this little cafe your memory still feels warm. If someday loneliness finds you, if midnight feels too cold, remember the nights we held each other like something precious to hold. And maybe when the rain returns, or when an old jazz record plays, you'll think about these candlelit hours and our blue romantic haze. Until then, I'll keep singing softly for you through smoke, moonlight, and velvet blues, hoping somewhere beyond the city your heart still remembers mine too.
Tonight the jazz club felt electric, warm lights glowing amber and gold, while laughter drifted through the smoky room like stories waiting to be told. She walked in wearing confidence, velvet heels against the floor, turning every lonely head. The moment she stepped through the door, the trumpet laughed playfully tonight, the piano rolled smooth and slight, and the whole cafe began swaying beneath the rainy midnight sky. I once bought her every little thing, silk dresses, perfume, diamond shine, trying to keep her heart beside me with gifts and expensive wine. But love was never built from money, never chained by what we own. Some hearts belong to freedom, no matter where they roam. She smiled with dangerous sweetness, like bourbon burning slow, the kind of woman who leaves memories everywhere she goes. The drummer brushed the rhythm lightly, the upright bass walked deep and low, while neon reflections dance softly across the window's rainy glow. Everybody in the jazz lounge could feel her magnetic flame, yet somehow she kept disappearing before anyone learned her name. I remember my mother warning me about women like her long ago, the kind who turn late night romance into beautiful chaos and smoke. Still I couldn't stop loving her, even knowing she'd never stay, because some women become jazz songs that drift into your soul and play. Now every midnight cafe reminds me of those reckless velvet nights, of slow dancing beneath chandeliers and disappearing city lights. Outside the skyline shimmered silver, inside the whiskey burned warm, and somewhere between heartbreak and laughter we survived another storm. Because romance was never perfect, sometimes wild, sometimes strange, but the best love stories often live inside beautiful midnight change. And somewhere beneath the trumpet echoes, beyond the smoke and neon blue, a lonely jazz singer still smiles, remembering nights with you. Tonight the rain falls softly across the sleepless city sky, and every lonely jazz cafe feels like a place where hearts still cry. I sit beneath dim golden lightning, watching strangers drift in blue, while the piano keeps repeating old melodies that sound like you. All I ever wanted, darling, was a small place in your heart, a quiet love that stayed alive, even when the nights grew dark. The trumpet whispers through the smoke, low and warm like aged wine, and every note keeps pulling me back toward your eyes again tonight. Love was never something simple, never something easily found. It isn't scattered through the streets
like lost coins on the ground. Real love moves slowly like jazz, soft and deep beneath the skin, growing stronger through the silence. Long after the dance begins, I know I wasn't always perfect. Sometimes pride stood in my way, but every midnight without you feels colder than yesterday. Outside the windows, taxis shimmer, rain painting silver through the light, while inside the drummer brushes softly like distant footsteps in the night. The upright bass walks low and lonely, like a soul refusing rest. And somewhere in the smoky shadows, your memory still feels closest. If I could hold your love forever, I'd guard it like sacred flame, because every lonely road I travel still somehow speaks your name. I don't want temporary passion or hearts that disappear by dawn. I want the kind of endless romance that keeps burning after storms are gone. So come back through these midnight streets, through neon rain and velvet blue, and let this tired old jazz cafe play one more love song for me and you. Because some hearts never stop waiting, no matter how much time may pass, still listening for familiar footsteps between piano notes and broken glass. And somewhere beneath this moonlit skyline, where lonely dreamers always stay, a slow romantic melody still calls your name through the rain. At the edge of the city tonight, where four lonely roads collide, I stood beneath the pouring rain, with nowhere left to hide. Street lights flickered like old memories, cold against the midnight haze.
while distant jazz drifted softly through abandoned alleyways. I dropped to my knees at the crossroads, my shadow trembling on the ground, as thunder rolled above the skyline, and no familiar face was found. I whispered quiet prayers upward, hoping heaven still could hear, because some nights the weight of loneliness feels heavier than fear. Cars pass slowly through the darkness, their headlights cutting through the blue, but nobody stopped beside me. Nobody even knew. The trumpet cried from some far cafe, low and aching through the storm, while the saxophone kept calling like a heart trying to stay warm. The rising moon sank behind buildings, and the city turned colder still. Every neon sign looked empty without your love to fill. I searched both east and western night, through rain-soaked streets and station lights, but every road led back to sleepless jazz-filled nights. No gentle hands to hold me, no soft voice calling my name, only the endless sound of traffic and midnight wrapped in rain. The drummer brushed the rhythm slowly, like footsteps fading out of sight, and the upright bass kept walking through another wounded night. Sometimes life becomes a crossroads, where every choice feels incomplete, and even strong souls lose direction, wandering broken city streets. Still somewhere inside this darkness, a little fire survives, because blues were never born from comfort, but from hearts trying to stay alive. So I carry my old guitar onward, through smoky rooms and closing bars, singing for the lost and lonely beneath exhausted stars.
maybe someday, beyond this sorrow, beyond the whiskey and the blues, I'll find a place where love remains and the rain finally moves. Until then, the crossroads still remember me. The midnight skyline still glows blue, and every slow romantic jazz refrain still somehow leads back to you.
There's an old red apartment standing beneath the midnight rain. Windows glowing softly like memories I can't explain. That's where you used to wait for me, with jazz records spinning low and candlelight dancing slowly across the wooden floorboards below. It's been so many lonely evenings since I last saw your face. Too many nights wandering cities, trying to replace your embrace. Tonight I finally came back, guitar case in my hand, walking through familiar streets like a ghost no longer planned. The city smelled of wet pavement, neon signs flickered blue, and distant saxophones echoed like whispers leading me to you. But something felt wrong immediately. The silence cut too deep. Even the old hallway shadows no longer felt asleep. I reached for the rusted doorway, hands trembling in the cold, but the key refused to turn, like the lock no longer knew my soul. The trumpet cried somewhere nearby, low and bruised with pain, while thunder rolled above the skyline and blurred the streets with rain. Then reality arrived slowly, crueler than midnight truth. You were gone from that little red home, gone from my wandering youth. No perfume in the hallway, no laughter through the walls,
Only empty rooms remembering the sound of distant calls. I stood there for a long while, listening to my breathing alone, while old jazz from a nearby cafe drifted through the storm. Still somehow I couldn't hate you, not after all we lived through, because every love leaves fingerprints long after it's through. So I lit one final cigarette, pulled my coat against the rain, and carried my lonely guitar back into the city again. The drummer brushed the rhythm softly, like tires rolling slow at night, and the upright bass kept walking beneath blurred streetlight light. Maybe somewhere beyond the skyline, another soul still waits for me, some woman dancing slowly inside a smoky melody. And if your heart no longer wants me, that's alright somehow, because the music still remains to carry me for now. So tonight the city becomes my home, the jazz café's my only truth, and every lonely love song still somehow belongs to you. Under neon skies and endless rain, with moonlight glowing blue, a wandering man keeps singing softly through romantic midnight blues.
Five long winters passed beside you, under factory smoke and city rain, while my tired hands kept working through every ounce of pain. Every Friday night I came home with worn out shoes and empty sleep, carrying dreams inside my pockets, too fragile for this world to keep. The steel mill roared like thunder, sparks falling like midnight stars, and somewhere beyond those cold machines, I imagined your arms. I gave you every paycheck, every drop of strength I knew, while slow jazz records played softly inside our little room for two. But love can turn so distant, like trains disappearing in the rain. And sometimes the heart you trust the most becomes the deepest pain. One evening beneath pale city lights, you looked at me differently, like I had become another stranger, standing where love used to be. The saxophone cried from the radio, low and bruised and blue, while silence filled the apartment. Long before I lost you, I walked alone through downtown streets, past cafés glowing gold, watching couples dance slowly together while the night grew cold. The drummer brushed the rhythm softly, like memories fading away, and the upright bass kept walking through another lonely day. Now I finally understand what older blues singers meant, how devotion without balance leaves a weary soul spent. Love should feel like shared moonlight, not chains one heart must drag, not one person carrying forever every burden in the bag. Still, even after all this heartbreak, I can't teach my heart to hate, because every midnight jazz melody still whispers your name too late. And somewhere beneath these rainy skylines, beyond the smoke and neon blue, there's a tired man still remembering how deeply he once loved you. Maybe someday another woman will dance slowly into my life, with honest eyes and open hands, not promises sharpened like knives. Until then I'll keep surviving through whiskey nights and jazz cafés, letting old romantic blues songs carry my soul away. Because every broken-hearted dreamer eventually learns the truth. Love without tenderness grows heavy, and even strong hearts bruise. So tonight I raise my glass quietly to every soul who gave too much, and to all the lonely workers still aching for a gentle touch.
Train left hours ago, but its whistle still haunts the rain, echoing through empty stations, like like a slow romantic jazz refrain. I stood beneath the dim street lights, my coat soaked by the midnight storm. Watching smoke fade down the tracks, while your memory kept me warm. The station cafe stayed half open, old records spinning soft and low. And somewhere in the lonely distance, another trumpet began to blow. I asked the man beside the counter if he had seen you pass this way. But silence answered louder than anything he could say. Now every train sounds like goodbye, every saxophone aches blue, and every restless midnight city somehow still reminds me of you. The piano trembles gently, like hands that can't let go, while the upright bass keeps walking through streets too tired to know. Sometimes I feel completely lost, like smoke drifting through neon light, a wandering soul with nowhere left to survive another night. If my voice were strong as thunder, if heartbreak could move the sky, I would climb the tallest mountain and call your name one final time. But love moves like departing trains. Once gone, it rarely turns around, leaving only fading echoes and lonely hearts station bound. Still somewhere deep inside this sorrow, a small flame continues to stay, because even broken jazz songs refuse to fully fade away. So tonight I drink beside the window, watching city lights blur in blue, while rain slides slowly down the glass like memories of you. And maybe someday you'll remember the nights we danced beneath cafe light, the slow jazz melodies, the whispered kisses, the way the world disappeared at night.
but by then I may already be gone. Another traveler lost in the storm, carrying old romantic blues, far from where your heart was born. Until that day, the evening train keeps rolling, the trumpet keeps crying low, and somewhere beneath the midnight skyline, a lonely singer still won't let go.
Tonight the city glows like velvet, rain falling soft on avenue lights, and inside this little jazz cafe, love moves slowly through the night. The piano whispers warm and low, the trumpet melts into the blue, while every soul beneath the smoke feels pulled a little closer to you. I don't want diamonds or promises, don't need castles made of gold. I just want your midnight laughter beside me when the night grows cold. No need to play the perfect angel, no need to carry every weight. Just dance with me beneath the moonlight before the music fades too late. I can tell by the way you move slowly, like rhythm flowing through your skin. Every glance feels like a love song, drawing restless hearts back in. The saxophone cries soft and smoky, the drummer brushes smooth and slow, and candlelight across your shoulders makes the whole room glow. Tonight, forget the world outside us, forget the noise, the fear, the pain. Let the jazz wrap around our hearts like moonlight wrapped in rain. Because love was never meant to feel like chains or sacrifice. Sometimes it's only two lonely souls finding warmth beneath midnight skies. The upright bass keeps walking gently,
like footsteps drifting through the dark. While old blue melodies surround us, like fire inside a spark. You smile softly through the dim light, and suddenly the whole world fades, leaving only slow romantic music and shadows dancing in the haze. No expectations, no complicated goodbyes, only this moment, this rhythm, these beautiful city lights. And somewhere beyond the rainy windows, while skyscrapers shimmer blue, a lonely jazz singer keeps whispering every love song back to you, because some nights become forever, even when morning finally arrives, living on through smoky melodies and hearts that stay alive.
Tonight I walk beside the river, where moonlight trembled on the sea, and even the restless water seemed to whisper back to me. The wind moved slowly through the harbor, cold against my tired skin, while distant jazz from downtown cafés drifted softly through the wind. I stood there with an old suitcase, wondering how far I could go, with nothing left but midnight music and memories I still can't let go. The trumpet cried across the skyline, the saxophone moaned low and blue, like every lonely note remembered something beautiful about you. I've met women in every city, under neon lights and hotel signs, some with laughter sweet as bourbon, some with hearts as wild as wine. One girl spent her nights crocheting, quiet beneath apartment light,
trying to build herself some peace, while the whole world chased the night. Another dance through smoky jazz clubs, like fire wrapped in velvet skin, leaving every lonely dreamer wondering where she'd been. But me, I was never built for staying, never meant for settled days. My soul belongs to highways, late night trains, and dim blue jazz cafés. I could have married once, perhaps, built a little life somewhere, but the sound of distant music always pulled me back out there. So now I drift from town to town, like old blues singers used to do, carrying rain-soaked memories and unfinished songs about you. The drummer brushes soft and slow, like tires rolling through the rain, while the upright bass keeps walking, like a midnight freight train. Outside, the skyline glows in silver, inside the candles burn low, and every broken-hearted stranger has nowhere else to go. Sometimes love asks us to stay, but restless hearts still leave, because freedom can feel beautiful, even when it makes us grieve. So darling, don't cry when morning finds me gone. The more your tears fall softly, the farther I drift on. Just remember me beneath the music, where old jazz melodies survive, somewhere between love and loneliness, a wandering soul stays alive. And whenever midnight rain touches the city, or trumpet echoes fill the blue, know that every lonely road I travel still somehow leads to you. The band was playing low tonight, in inside that smoky downtown room. Golden lights and velvet shadows floating softly through perfume. She walked in wearing midnight red, high heels tapping slow on wood. Every eye inside the jazz club turned exactly where she stood. The trumpet gave a playful whisper. The piano rolled smooth and deep, while city rain kissed the windows, and the whole room skipped a beat. She moved like rhythm born from fire, slow and dangerous and free, like every smoky blues confession ever written on 52nd Street. The drummer brushed the snare so gently, the upright bass began to sway, and every lonely heart inside forgot its troubles for a day. I knew a woman up on the hillside, wild as summer lightning skies, the kind of love that burns too quickly, yet never truly dies. She promised me forever once, beneath soft neon candle glow, but restless hearts and midnight dreams are hard things ever to hold. Still, when the jazz band starts swinging and saxophones cry smooth and sweet, I remember the way she danced, like rhythm living in her feet. The whole cafe kept moving slowly, bodies swaying side to side, as moonlight spilled across the whiskey and blue smoke filled the night. Some women dance for attention, some dance just to survive, but she moved like pure emotion, like music somehow came alive. The singer crooned another love song, warm and low like aged wine, while strangers felt in temporary love. Just a little time, outside the skyline glowed in rain, inside the candles burned low, and every soul beneath that roof
ago. Because jazz was never only music, it was longing dressed in sound, a place where broken hearts kept dancing, even after falling down. And somewhere in that midnight room, between the trumpet and the blues, a woman kept the whole world spinning. With every move she chose,
the city feels too heavy, like rain trapped inside my soul. Every street lamp glows in silence, while broken jazz records slowly roll. I think it's time for me to leave, disappear beyond these midnight trains, back to southern skies and rivers, far away from all this pain. This old cafe still plays our songs, soft trumpet cries through whiskey smoke, and every piano key reminds me of promises we never spoke. I try to keep my heart together, try to bury the lonely blues, but every night your memory rises like fog beneath electric moonlight hues. Now the drummer brushes slowly, like footsteps fading down the hall, while the upright bass keeps walking, as if it understands it all. Sometimes I wake before the sunrise, hearing phantom echoes at my door, thinking maybe you've returned again, like all those nights before. But the hallway stays completely empty, only silence staring back at me. And somewhere far beyond this city, your shadow still moves free. I loved you more than restless highways, more than bourbon smoke or rain. But love can turn into sorrow when one heart carries all the pain. So I keep wandering through neon darkness with tired searching for peace inside jazz melodies no one truly understands. Outside the station, old trains rumble, their lights dissolving through the storm. And every traveler passing by looks cold and worn. Still deep inside, I know someday you'll remember what we had. The slow dances, candlelight, and the nights that felt less sad. Maybe one rainy midnight evening you'll hear my voice in some old blues refrain, floating softly through a lonely bar, like ghostly perfume after rain. Until then, I'll keep moving onward, past smoky rooms and closing signs, carrying your memory quietly between these scattered lines. Because some hearts are never satisfied, no matter where they roam, always searching through endless music for one soul that feels like home. And somewhere beneath this sleepless sky, while the city fades into blue, a lonely jazz singer still whispers every midnight song for you.
Was a time I lived like royalty, throwing dollars into midnight air. Every jazz club knew my laughter, every bartender knew I'd be there. Champagne flowed like city rain, crystal glasses glowing gold, and every smoky room I entered felt warm against the cold. I carried all my friends beside me, paid for every reckless night, while trumpet songs and neon reflections turned darkness into light. Back then the world felt endless, like music that would never fade. Every stranger called me brother, as long as the bills were paid. But fortune moves like drifting smoke,
across my promised lands. The whiskey bottles emptied slowly, the jazz cafés forgot my name, and all the people who once loved me vanished just the same. Now I sit alone near closing time, one final bourbon poured neat, listening to the old piano crying softly through the street. The drummer brushes low and gentle, like memories fading in the rain, while the upright bass keeps walking through every ounce of pain. Funny how the world grows colder when your pockets lose their shine. The same hands once reaching for you suddenly leave you behind. I learned that lonely lesson under dim cafe lights at 2, when silence became my closest friend and midnight turned blue. Still somewhere inside this broken soul, a little hope survives, like a saxophone playing softly at the edge of tired lives. Because maybe one day fortune returns, like an old train through the storm, and maybe those forgotten dreams will finally keep me warm. But if that day ever finds me, I'll spend my nights differently, holding every blessing carefully, like fragile melody. No more chasing hollow glamour, no more buying temporary smiles, only slow jazz, candlelight, and hearts that stay a while. Because when the music fades away and the city sleeps alone, you finally learn who truly loves you after everything is gone. So tonight I raise this final glass to every soul who fell apart, to all the dreamers still surviving with bruised but beating hearts. And somewhere beneath these midnight skies, beyond the smoke and neon blue, a lonely jazz singer still performs for broken hearts like you.
Try to save my restless soul, try to wash these blues away. Inside a little midnight chapel, on a cold and rainy day, I knelt beside the quiet candles, while distant church bells slowly cried. But every prayer became a jazz song, with your memory trapped inside. The preacher spoke of heaven, of peace beyond the night, but my heart still wandered lonely through neon streets and smoky lights. I wanted to become a better man, leave behind these reckless ways, the whiskey glasses, broken lovers, and endless midnight haze. Yet every time the piano trembled, every time the saxophone sighed, I felt those old desires awaken, like fire I could never hide. Women dance beneath blue lighting, perfume floating through the air, and suddenly salvation vanished inside another smoky prayer. The drummer brushed the rhythm softly, like rain against my hotel room, while the upright bass kept walking through velvet shadows and perfume. I've loved too hard, too wild, too deeply, like old blues legends used to do, giving pieces of my soul away to every heartbreak passing through. Still, if heaven truly exists somewhere, I hope it feels a little like this, a slow romantic jazz cafe, wrapped inside eternal bliss. Warm candlelight on polished tables, late night melodies drifting slow, a trumpet glowing soft like moonlight above the city far below. And maybe there you'll still be dancing, turning softly through the blue, while every lonely jazz musician plays another song for you. Because no matter how far I wander, no matter what roads I choose, I always find my spirit living inside these endless midnight blues. So tonight I raise my glass slowly to lost love, desire, and truth, to all the broken-hearted dreamers still chasing timeless youth. And somewhere beneath the rain-soaked skyline, while the whole city sleeps alone, a weary soul keeps singing softly
his way back home.
Midnight trains keep calling me, whispering through the pouring rain, like old jazz records spinning slowly inside a heart that can't explain. Come on, baby, let's disappear far beyond these tired streets, past neon lights and smoky cafés, where lonely souls and memories meet. Let's ride beneath the city skyline, with nothing but moonlight to lose, while the trumpet softly trembles inside romantic midnight blues. Chicago wind still sings your name through every alley, bar and train, and every saxophone downtown still sounds a little like rain. I'm tired of crowded midnight rooms, tired of whiskey without peace, tired of watching broken lovers dance until their feelings cease. So take my hand before dawn arrives, before another night grows cold. Let's leave behind these empty echoes and stories already told. The piano keeps the rhythm slow, the drummer brushes soft and low, while the upright bass keeps walking, like somewhere we still need to go. Maybe California still remembers how dreamers used to feel alive, where ocean waves and golden mornings could help wounded hearts survive. We'll drive through sleeping highways, under endless silver skies, with old jazz melodies beside us, and freedom burning in our eyes. And if the world keeps turning cruel, if love still fades like cigarette smoke, at least tonight beneath these lights, we believed our hearts could cope. Because sometimes all a soul needs is one more chance to run, one more slow dance
dance in the rain before the night is done. So darling, before the final trumpet fades, before the smoky bar grows dark, come leave this lonely city with me and follow the music through the stars. Wherever the road may carry us, beyond sorrow, beyond blue, there'll always be a jazz cafe waiting for hearts like me and you.
I still love you, darling, even when your words cut deep, like cold rain falling slowly through a city that never sleeps. You walk through smoky midnight rooms with danger in your eyes, leaving every heart around you lost beneath your velvet lies. Still somehow I keep returning, like an old jazz song replayed, even when your love burns through me, like whiskey nights that fade. I remember when you held me close, laughing softly against my skin, moonlight dancing on your shoulders while the trumpet played again. Back then the whole cafe was glowing, blue smoke drifting through the air, and every lonely piano note made it feel like heaven there. But loving you was never simple. You belong to restless nights, to neon bars and strangers' whispers, under endless city lights. Sometimes I tell myself I'm leaving, crossing oceans far away, somewhere the rain can't find me, and your memory cannot stay. Yet every road still leads me backward to your perfume and your voice, to the dangerous kind of passion that never really leaves by choice. The saxophone begins crying softly. The drummer brushes low and slow. While the upright bass keeps walking like a soul with nowhere to go.
And there you stand beneath the spotlight, brown skin glowing warm like gold, beautiful as midnight fire, too wild to ever hold. I ask myself, who truly owns your heart? Who gets to call you home? Because every man who looks your way feels less alone. Still, if tomorrow you disappeared like smoke beneath the rain, I know this broken jazz cafe would whisper your name again. Because some women become music, not something time can keep. Living forever inside slow jazz and midnight memories too deep.